just staying with oil, I know there's been a lot of meetings between the oil ministry and the finance ministry. In the budget, you haven't put down a figure in terms of compensation to the oil marketing companies. Do you have a rough estimate at this point in time of the sort of cushion that you could provide?
I think 26,000 crores of rupees.
Okay, 26,000 crore rupees. Let me move now to gas, sir.
Because I have given some subsidies figures around 1 lakh plus 1,000 crores of rupees, food subsidy,
sure,
for fertilizer subsidies and oil taken together, and certain other subsidies, interest subvention, etc.
Sure.
I think 100,000 crores plus.
Okay. Let me move to gas. We've just had the Ambani gas dispute, in a sense, being resolved by the Supreme Court verdict. You were part of the group of ministers panel looking at gas. A broader question outside of what has been decided by the Supreme Court, which says that the government's right over gas is supreme, and that you get to decide at what price it will be sold and who it will be allocated to. But given where things stand, is there room, is there scope for the gas utilization policy to be revisited at this point in time?
So far the gas utilization policy is concerned, we have taken a decision, EGA, based on the availability of the quantum of gas.
Sure.
And we have also indicated the priority, fertilizer sector, power sector, and so on. Therefore, we have made certain allocations. But as and when the gas availability of the gas will increase, gas prices domestically and internationally will emerge. This will have to be looked into from that point of view. I am happy with the judgment because it has clearly established the authority of the government on three important aspects. That an important natural resource, government is the owner of that. That was our contention. Secondly, government should have the right to allocate the gas for utility as per the priority determined by the government.
Sure.
And third element, of course, is the price. And price mechanism, we follow the international practices.
Sure.
Therefore, I do not visualize any major problems in these areas. Now, we shall have to take a stock of the situation. There is an EGOM which will meet and will take stock of the situation, and thereafter we will determine the decision.
So
we have already taken certain decisions.
Sure.
Those decisions are to be implemented because for certain sectors we indicated that the gas will be available to you as and when you are in a position to take the gas, absorb the gas.
That's right.
And secondly, when the gas will be available, I cannot distribute a non-existing and non-available resources.
But you're saying, sir, that the empowered group of ministers is open to taking external and internal factors into consideration, and perhaps if there is a question of revising the price, which is 4.2 as has been decided, and if there is a need to reassign allocation, these are matters that you could review or could be up for consideration.
You know, there is a time for which we have fixed this price.
Yeah.
That period for where the commitment has been made that this price will continue up to this level, that we shall have to maintain.
Okay, so that will be maintained. Beyond that, you will see. There's been a lot of speculation, sir, that you are being consulted in an informal fashion by both the Ambani brothers in terms of what the possible road ahead or the resolution could be. Is that right?
There is no such thing. I know these boys from their boyhood because I knew their father very well. So whenever they come to Delhi, if I have time, they meet me and they discuss the general issues. But I must say in fairness that nobody did tell me that you do this for me or you do that for me.
Sure.
That they told.
Okay.
It is not correct.
Let me talk to you, sir, about another revenue-generating opportunity for the government, and that really is on the disinvestment front. On the disinvestment front, sir, you've budgeted about 40,000 crore rupees coming in from disinvestment. The next big-ticket disinvestment is Coal India, which is lined up. What has been the learnings from the disinvestments that have taken place so far? There were question marks and criticism of the French auction, of the aggressive pricing, of not enough retail participation. What has been the lessons and the learnings on the disinvestment front for you, sir?
Normally, we are going through the book building system. Only once in one case we made the experiment with the French auction. Otherwise, we are going by the traditional book building options, and I think the response is quite satisfactory. But you shall have to keep in mind that a market which is naturally fluctuating market, there sometimes you will gain, sometimes you will not gain so much.
Right.
We decide keeping the market trend in view, and therefore the possibilities of losing is less, but level of quantum of gain cannot always be predetermined.
Sure.
It will depend on the market conditions.
But
on the whole, I am quite confident that it would be possible for me to reach the target which I have fixed for the year.
Of 40,000 crore rupees. Are you worried, sir, the fact that we are seeing trouble in Europe and that could impact global financial markets, global equity markets? It's already taken a toll on global equity markets, that could perhaps act as a dampener, that could act as a spoiler as far as the government's disinvestment plans are concerned?
When you integrate yourselves to the global economy, naturally you will have advantages, you will have disadvantages. You cannot create a mechanism where you will not have any adverse impact of the disadvantages developing outside. No economy can insulate itself from the impact of the global development totally. The source of the financial crisis was not in India, not even in Asia or Europe. It started in subprime mortgage banking in USA, and no sooner it engulfs the entire world. That is the nature of the world economy today. That is the part of the integrated global economy. Therefore, this aspect is to be kept in view. But to my mind, we can draw correct lessons if we want to have, by analyzing the trend, by analyzing the root causes and its effects. And if we draw the correct lesson and apply those correct lessons in our policies, perhaps we can insulate the adverse impact to the extent possible. I will give you just one example. The current crisis, to my mind, appears particularly related to fees. That perhaps too much fiscal expansion is not desirable, coupled with volatility of the capital flows.
Right.
Therefore, these two areas we shall have to be moderate. Greece crisis has started recently.
Right.
But well before that, in our parliament, I clearly explained that I cannot indulge. You may call me conservative, I don't mind. But I cannot indulge fiscal profligacy.
Absolutely.
I must come back to the path of the fiscal consolidation. Therefore, ignoring the advice of many of the experts, I am coming back to the path of fiscal consolidation, as you yourself have said it, that I have even improved the roadmap which was prescribed for me by the 13th Finance Commission for the year 2010-11, fixing the fiscal deficit at 5.5%. Similarly, the volatility of the capital flow is also to be watched. I am not just prescribing any.
Are you worried about?
I am not just prescribing any formula or any steps which we are going to take. But this much I must say that we shall have to be very watchful about the development.
Okay, you are being watchful of the developments in Europe at this point in time, sir, but let me ask you, in terms of the interest rate scenario, and I know that this is in the RBI's domain, but I just want to get your sense of it, because when the last policy changes were made, you said that you were glad that we were moving back towards neutral policy rates. At this point in time, as the government is watchful of the situation in Europe, do you think you would like to see aggressive moves on the rate front, or do you think that once again we will need to monitor and perhaps gradually move on the rate front?
You know, what I would like to do, first of all, Reserve Bank is very watchful. And fiscal policy, monetary policy are formulated in close cooperation with the Reserve Bank of India.
Sure.
Therefore, we have no problem from that point of view. And you have seen that when we have in the last policy statements, 25 basis points have increased in CRR, repo rate, reverse repo rate. Banks have not immediately, instantly reacted to it. And that is the strength of the system which is working on. So I would like to watch the situation and how the developments are taking place. The bailout package in Europe, it will have some impact, I do feel. And moreover, we will have the opportunity of sharing our perceptions about the development of global scenarios in the G20 finance ministers meeting in the first week of June, prior to the summit which will take place. This year there will be two summits. One will be at Toronto, G20 summits, and next it will be, last summit will be in Korea, November. So we will be able to get the fair amount of ideas from the outcome of that this summit and prior to summit in the meeting of the G20 finance.